This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. Welcome back, everybody, to the Laugh Cry Club. I'm Joy.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Chelsea, and if you are an imperfect human who laughs and cries, then this podcast is for you and a friend and a human that you love. Only cool club members, which means kind, loving, open-minded, recognizing that we're all just doing the best that we can. And I would like to say our club members assume good intent.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, psychological safety is number one. So welcome if you are new, and hello if you are already a club member.
Welcome, everybody. And I also want to think that if anyone listens to this and they get kind of like, I don't want to feel my feelings, this podcast is also for you, especially for you, because sometimes that touchy-feely stuff can get like uncomfortable for people. Sometimes it even happens to me if I'm listening to some things, but I would encourage you to push past that feeling and see if you can learn something from 3 licensed therapists, by the way. So we each have over 20 years of experience each in the mental health field. We are licensed in multiple various states to practice therapy. We treat patients. We've treated all sorts of patients in a variety of scenarios. So we know some stuff and we want to share some stuff with you. So we start every podcast with a laugh and cry of the week. And then we have a topic. This month we are focused on gratitude. Today we're going to talk about tips and tricks of how to increase gratitude in your life in a way that really is sustainable and actually works. So looking forward to that conversation. Chelsea, who is going first?
I mean, I feel like Rebecca's shirt is speaking to me. She's wearing this like button-up shirt, and it's navy, and it has some, I don't know, like a whimsical design. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So Rebecca, what you got?
Oh, wow. Okay. Been a week here at the homestead in Texas. No, I sound like I'm really old. But I'm not.
It has been a week at the homestead.
It's been a week. Yeah. So I'll start. My cry has to do. Our listeners that have been here for a while probably heard about Fritz. Anyway, he's a rescue dog.
Yeah.
But he has been just on the struggle bus lately. He's got this, the diagnosis is a vestibular issue. And so he just essentially, he's a senior dog. He's old, like 12 years old. He's walking around like he went to a cake party. Like he just runs into the walls. He's falling down. His back legs are not as steady. He's sleeping a lot. So yeah, we've got some medication for nausea and things like that. We've tried all the things we can at this point, and it's kind of a wait and watch him. If it gets worse, bring him in. But yeah, so we're just kind of watching him, and then hopefully this will correct itself, and he'll get back to being a regular dog. But it's really sad because this guy, I was saying today, he's a dog's dog. Like, he just wants to be a dog.
Yeah.
And be cheerful. And he's on this stupid special diet because he has a liver issue. And he's like, he told the pet psychic once it's like eating crunchy air, which is true. It's like, he just wants to be joyful, have fun, eat meat, do crazy things. And he just,
his body doesn't really let him. And he's been through a lot. When you rescued him, he was really on the verge of being euthanized, wasn't he?
Yeah, when we rescued him about 1.5 years ago, he was on the list just because they were overcrowded at that point. And he was a hot mess.
Well,
poor guy.
Fritzy, we love you.
Rebecca's beautiful heart. Her beautiful heart. You will listen. I mean, you and Joy intentionally torture yourselves with these animals.
I mean, it's so true.
It is. It's like, who rescues dogs that okay, let me just take the emotions out of it. It's a lot of time and a lot of money to take care of an animal that has health issues, knowing that you're going to love them and they're going to die. And you do this
it's hard.
willingly. And then Joy, you take a puppy, which is like a baby. Nobody gives away their baby. I mean,
Yes.
some people might, but they're extreme circumstances, okay?
Yes.
Joy takes a baby, this cute baby, this perfect baby, and then trains the baby to be perfect. Like
then
a
gives it
healthy
away.
baby. And then gives it away. I mean, you're remarkable, both of you. I'm like, I want no pain. I want no pain. I'm out. I don't want to. I don't want to do those things anymore.
I
in my
know.
life.
Trust me.
I mean,
I
not that I
asked-
ever did. Maybe kind of. I don't know. Not about me, but you're amazing, both of you.
Oh, thank you. So on a lighter note, you know, it was Halloween. Spirit Halloweens pop up everywhere, right? There's the one that I've been there a few times this season. And this location made the national news. I don't know if any of you have seen the news report about the monkey that was on the loose at the Spirit Halloween.
No.
It happened at the location I've gone to. So I was there the other day because it's after Halloween. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get some good deals. So I'm checking out, and there's 3 people there. And I decide I'm going to chat up these randos. Because this one guy is just looking like he just came back from his break and smoked a pack of cigarettes outside. Like, he's like totally over Halloween, right? So I decided to chat him up. And I'm like, hey, were any of you here the night that the monkey was on the loose? And he's like, oh, yes. And like, he was not amused by this.
Wait,
So, like,
what?
so
Okay, I would have a sign over my head that said, I was
Ask me
here
about
with
it.
the monkey. Yeah, ask and I'll tell.
yeah. So he told me the whole story and I was just cracking up. Like, apparently the monkey was on the loose for 45 minutes. And I know the police
my
got involved
gosh.
because they came out and were like, what are we going to do? Because the monkey was swinging from the rafters in the ceiling. But he was so not amused. Like, he's telling this story like deadpan
He's having a
face.
great
Like,
time at
like
that
again, like he
Halloween
just came
store.
off of a smoke break and he's so over Halloween and done with the festivities. But it was hilarious listening. He told me the whole thing from start to finish. Like, she brought the monkey in, you know, they had these animatronics there. The monkey got scared by the animatronic, all of a sudden just got up and showed me like exactly how it got up to the rafters, and then it stayed up there, and then the game it was playing with its owner, like the owner would walk away, the monkey would come down, then the owner would try to go get it, the monkey would go back up. This went on for 45 minutes at the Spirit Halloween. And then eventually, because the cops came too, I don't know what they're going to do, to arrest the monkey
Arrest the monkey.
for
Handcuff
public
him
indecency.
and put him in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
that's so
take
good.
pictures with the monkey for their kids.
Well,
That would be fun.
totally. But he's like, finally, the monkey got down because she lured it down with a cookie. And I just am like, what kind of cookie was this that finally got the monkey down? He didn't know, but it was just a funny story.
That is
God,
really
that's
funny.
so
That's like something from a movie.
Isn't that hilarious? Like, yeah, so I got the deets from this rando. And, you know, if you're listening and you saw it on the news, guess what? I've been to that Spirit Halloween. So
Yeah, you have, Miss Popular.
I'm VVIP, right? All right. I'm going to pass this over to Joy for share your laughs and cries this week.
All right. Well, I don't know if I can top a monkey flying from the rafters, but I'm going to try. No. Okay. So my cry this week was I got together with some friends, some old friends that I haven't seen in a while. We live in Denver, like in various parts of Denver. Oh, Kipsy.
Hi,
I have to take a Kipsy break. Hi,
We're taking a
Kippers.
Kipsy break, not
Hi,
tipsy.
Not tipsy.
Kipsy.
Kipsy.
That's Chelsea's dog.
Hi, Kippers. Chelsea, what's he finding fun to bark at?
His paws are soaking wet. I have to lean down to put him down on the ground because he's so little. He's only 6 pounds.
He's so
his
tiny.
paws are soaking
And
wet,
you're so tall.
and he's breathing like he ran a marathon.
Kippers, what did you do?
Like, what are you doing, Kippers? And you just got groomed. Okay, you look adorable. Like, don't mess up your good hair. Just let me have one day. One day, dog. If you looking like
I
the
love
dog you were meant to
Kipsy.
be, a show dog.
I love Kipsy. Kipsy's the best. Kipsy is the sweetest little thing. Just full
He is sweet.
disclosure, I typically don't like those like size of dogs or like that breed of dogs. But when
6 pounds, y'all.
yeah,
6 pounds.
I typically am not one to like gravitate towards like the tiny dogs. But when I met Kipsy, I was like, oh, you are the exception to my rule. He is an angel on earth. He's adorable. He's so cute.
So cute.
He's so cute. He just has the cutest little sweetest personality. Because I gotta say, some of those dogs are just annoying. Like some of the like young, like the tiny dogs are like annoy me. But you can tell he like really loves. He loves hard. He's such a sweetheart.
Oh my gosh, he does. And I mean, the only thing that's actually really bad about him is his breath. That's, little dogs get death breath. It doesn't matter how many times you get their teeth clean. It's like their little mouth is full of death breath.
That's right. I
So
told
he
you got to
licks
give him a
you
probiotic. You got to get that
I did. Oh my
that gut
gosh, I
health.
did. And it was
Yeah.
a disaster. And he
Oh, no.
shit all over. I forgot to tell you that.
You'll get loose stools. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Happens. Yep.
Yeah, all over my favorite kitchen rug that I had to throw out. Yeah,
That's my fault. Oh no.
Yeah, Joy, let me Home Goods.
I'll send you a new rug.
I'm just kidding. It's totally fine. I mean, but yeah, that happened.
Oh,
It was
man.
a shitstorm, right?
Oh, it was something that I just was
no.
like, yeah, I'll take your death breath over your
diarrhea.
death explosive ass. Yes.
Well, that was a fail. Fail advice on my part. Okay, so
You did your personal best.
I did my personal best. Not for Kipsy. So my cry this week was I hung out with some friends that I haven't seen in a long time. One was in my wedding. The other one, we just known each other for years and years and years, probably since I first moved here. So it's been like over 20 years. We've been really good friends, but we don't see each other that often. Life, kids, etc. I moved a little bit farther away. We used to live literally like a mile radius. So I kind of miss being so close to them in proximity. So we got together, we had brunch, and we were talking, and one of my friends recently lost her father just like about a month ago. So we were talking about that and just how grief shows up and what that process was like of losing her father. And my other friend had lost her dad quite a while ago, like when we were probably in our 20s. So he's been gone for a while, but it just made me realize, like, we started talking and we were all crying. But really what I was remembering was when I'm younger and you have like less life experience, you don't really know how to show up for people because you just don't get it. Or at least I didn't, because I hadn't really experienced a lot of loss in my life. So I remember at the time, and I was telling her this, I said, I just have to tell you, this is the one that lost her father quite a while ago. And I said, I want to tell you that I remember specifically where I was when you called me and told me your dad passed away, because I was close to him as well. Like, we loved her dad. He was like larger than life, just loved all of us, loved all the girls, he was just like friends with us all. And I said, I will never forget where I was driving. I remember exactly what you told me. And so we were kind of like recounting that day. And she goes, did you ever, know that when I was at the hospital, I passed out? I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Like, we were kind of like recounting this now is like mid 40 women, how I said, and then I remember she's the type of person that she's so optimistic. She's a bright, sunshiny human that can always find the good, like that cup half full type of person. At the time, I always kind of idolized that in a way, I still do, but I mean, I idolized it in a way where I assumed that she was going to be okay, meaning like, she's got this, so I didn't check in with her as much as I like probably should have, because I was always like, she's such a strong, positive person. She's moving through this just fine, which is kind of a very just immature way of thinking about it. Anyway, we were talking about that, and I said,
okay, I don't want you to judge yourself on that,
thank
Joy,
you.
because I'm going to tell you this. I had death at a young age. I had a little sister who died, and when I had a girlfriend whose sister's child died, it paralyzed me. Like, I could not show up, and I didn't, and I bawled later, crying, and was like, I'm so sorry. So the reason why I'm saying this is same, different, right?
Yeah.
We all have these things that we just don't have the threshold yet to understand. And so we do whatever it is that we try to do to get through, but we can't. It takes life experience and self-work and opening up these areas to get that aha of, oh, I now at age 47, of course, I would show up. I would show up differently. You would show up differently, but that's
Yeah,
only
that's
because
true.
now you have a compass
Yeah.
sort of to navigate of how you would go through. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say, like, I understand what you're saying, and you just can't know until you do that work of what that's going to bring up for you.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Thank
we
you for
have
saying that. Mm-hmm.
weird reactions. And having just gone through a death, people have weird reactions
Yeah.
to the death that I just went through,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it brings up other people. Wounds bring up other people's wounds.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we can have enough grace for
Yeah.
ourselves, which your friend obviously
Oh, yeah. She
remarkable. And I just interrupted your whole story.
No.
but
I'm
yeah.
glad you brought that up because it's giving grace to my younger self where
Yes.
I can be really hard on myself.
Yes.
To be like, I didn't show up for her in the way that I really wanted it. I did.
Yes.
And it's not like I wasn't around, period. It was just more of emotionally, I didn't ask the questions. I didn't looking back, hindsight's 2020. So I told her that. I said, I just remember thinking, you're going to be okay because A, B, and C. And I remember her telling me, and I said this to her, I said, I remember you telling me, I just wish someone would, all of my family is doing the same thing because they're like, well, she can handle it all. She said, my family kind of did the same thing. I wish people really understood that this is really affecting me too. And I was like, light bulb of, yeah, people can have their shit together and be the most positive person in the world. And it's still show up for them in a way that's like, we're here for you. And, in ways that you probably don't make assumptions type of thing. So we had a really good cry. It was one of those situations where we were in this really nice restaurant that we love. We were all holding hands. It was one of those booth tables. It was kind of in a half circle, and we're all just holding hands on the table, bawling our eyes out. And I'm just not even self-conscious about it. I almost love crying in public to normalize it in a way that's just we're just having a human connection here. So that was my cry, and I just love them so much, so much. I feel very grateful. I thought of you, Chelsea, when you were talking about how some of your deepest love, maybe it's a love affair, or your female friendships, you just really have such
my
deep
greatest love stories have been women.
your love stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I feel. I was thinking about that.
And Joy, I want to add one more thing to what you're saying. Listeners, and this is a reminder for us too, your hosts, it's never too late to go back with your new insight and share that with somebody who you love. Mm-hmm. Joy, what you did to say oh my gosh, I'm actually upset that I didn't show up this way and I'm so sorry and I want to share this. You just gave, one, your vulnerability. Two, it's still healing for your friend to know this part about you.
Yeah.
And three, then you don't carry that shoulda, coulda, woulda all by yourself. Our friends and our loved ones are here for us to have these sort of confessional conversations of, I didn't like the way I was in that situation and I'm sorry.
Yeah. And that's exactly kind of
Beautiful.
what I was trying to say more or less was, I remember that so vividly. It was all just so vivid in my mind and wanting to tell her that. And she, of course, she's the most loving, gracious human in the world. And she was just thank you. And she accepts and loves me unconditionally because she's a great friend. But it's also a great point, Chelsea, not to go off on a tangent. I think this might be a great topic for another day of how we show up in friendships, because I'm starting to also realize, and I mentioned this before, when we all got together, how I had this corrective emotional experience of how my insecurities showed up in friendships throughout the years and how I'm learning to overcome them. And a lot of that too is being honest with myself, stating my needs, being honest with friends, asking for what you need, but also being okay with conflict. And that I'm very conflict avoidant when it comes with friendships. And that's another maybe topic for another day of how we can dive into that. Okay, so my laugh is really just hard right turn from grief to poop is speaking of Gypsy pooping on the carpet. I was on a walk, and so I don't know if you're in these neighborhood groups. We have neighborhood Facebook pages, or if you're on Nextdoor. Neighbors have started, some neighbors, not all, but I don't love this trend that's happening. Every once in a while, you'll see a post of someone shame posting a Ring doorbell camera video about a neighbor, okay? Don't worry, I was not one of them, but I was almost one of them. But they'll shame post and be like, this so-and-so person, like their dog peed on my yard. So now I have this like extreme fear, even though I walk pretty early and it's kind of dusk out now, I still have this fear of a Ring camera catching my dog's peeing on their yard. And people are like, some people don't care, but you'll see some with like their signs on the yard of like, don't pee on my yard. And I don't know, to me, I'm like, you must not have animals then, because good luck trying to control when your dogs pee. Now, granted, my dogs are more or less trained to go on command, but when they're on a sniff walk, which is totally different, they get to sniff and pee wherever they want. And Joe is a marker dog where he likes to pee and he likes to mark things. He sniffs and then he pees on it. Anyway, so I'm at this one house, and speaking of diarrhea, Leela had diarrhea, and I didn't realize like it was coming, and she just diarrhea all over this lawn. All over this lawn.
Which you can't really pick up.
You can't pick it up.
It like smears everywhere.
Exactly. So I see the Ring doorbell camera like with the light on, like recording me, and I was like, Jesus Christ. So I'm so embarrassed because I'm like, why did she have, and we had just passed like a common area that was just like a field that no one, was like a public space. Nope, she went on this person's front yard, beautiful lawn, and it was an enormous pile of diarrhea. Then I panic because I was like, I forgot the dog bags. Like I completely panicked. I'm shoveling into like every pocket that I have. Thank the good Lord I found one. And I just start like, as much as I can, just like trying to pick. I know it's so gross. I know. Sorry, Chelsea. It's disgusting. I'm trying my best to clean it up, but it is just smearing everywhere. And then I'm like, I'm grossed out because I don't, as much as I love my dogs and dogs in general, I hate picking up poop. I still am like, I still kind of like dry heave every time I do it. So I left, I think, unscathed, but I think this was actually Halloween morning, and I was just praying. I was like, please don't let me show up. Please. So I dodged it. I don't think I'm going to like show up like, but I also, let's like stop publicly shaming our neighbors on Facebook neighborhood or whatever, because that was just like, I could see it happening. And it was like a pretty pristine lawn. And I'm like, look, if they're going to get mad, I just felt guilt about it. This is the Catholic guilt where I'm like, can't do anything about it. I honestly considered like driving back with like a gallon of water to just like wash it down or something. Like that's how embarrassed I was. Yes. But what are you going to do? So that was my laugh.
You're going to go up to the Ring doorbell camera and be like, excuse me, I'm really sorry about this. Do you have a hose? I'd be happy to hose your lawn off.
I mean, it really was like, and some got on like the sidewalk. I mean, it was just like all bad. It was all bad. So, Lord.
When they poop on the sidewalk, like,
forget it.
And because they can't control, they're senior. Well, senior dogs. Sometimes they just poop while
it
they
was
walk.
Leela. It was a baby dog.
Like,
it wasn't JT.
My God,
but
why are you pooping on the sidewalk? And then you go to try to pick it up and it's like poop smear and it's there for like a week later and you're reminded by it.
Yeah. Or I used to have like JT, my senior dog, used to throw up a lot, and he would just throw up in the middle of the sidewalk, and I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this. Like you can't. So I have so much grace now. If I see like a random poo or if I see like poo, like throw up on the sidewalk, I'm like, you know what? Let's give each other grace. Like we are doing the best we can with what we have. Chelsea, we're moving on. No more poop talk.
I mean, I would say this is why I deleted Neighborhood app. I was posted once. I was posted.
For what?
I mean, it was actually a compliment in my opinion.
Great.
I was riding our electric bikes with Charlie and her girlfriend on 4th of July. We were all in bikinis. I took a picture of them in front of me while I was riding my bike, and somebody said 3 teenagers riding electric bikes and no clothes with a camera out. This is dangerous. We should figure out who the parent is and some shit. And I'm like, oh, that was so nice. You thought I was a teenager? I was the parent.
That is a great compliment.
Yeah. So, but then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't need this negativity in my life. This app is no longer helpful. It was going down that decline of like people using it as a platform to talk shit.
Yep.
And I just radically eliminate negativity from my life. Mm-hmm. And I liked that I got the compliment. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, yeah, I don't want to read tattletale stories about people who live where I live. It's fucking weird. Unless you're a pedophile or a rapist or a burglar, you're fine. Okay?
Yeah.
Park, like, do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't want to put a PSA announcement on social media about it. It annoys me. I'm like, if you have a problem, you call the cops, you call code enforcement, you do something. But the public shaming, and like now, Joy, you're taking walks and you're not enjoying yourself, and God forbid your dog acts like a fucking dog.
Exactly.
And
that's
you're
where
a
I'm like,
great
you
dog
obviously
owner.
don't. I'm a great dog owner. I pick
You're
up
a great
after my
dog
dogs,
owner,
and like
sometimes things happen. So yeah, beat it, neighborhood complainers.
Yeah. I now like will go on. Sometimes I'll diversify it, but like for the most part, I go on routes that are all like on a sidewalk where it's just public space. I don't go like through neighborhoods as much for that reason, because I'm like, I don't want to get ring shamed. It's crazy. It is absolutely bananas. There was a ring, and then we'll move on. There was a ring video someone posted of a guy taking poop from his yard and throwing it onto his neighbor's yard, because it was like his neighbor's dog was like pooped on his yard. So they caught him like picking up the poop from his yard and just throwing it over to their yard.
Oh, that's
I'm
so
like,
good.
people, I mean, wow.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I don't know. If someone's just like an asshole and they're letting their dog do this every single day in the same place, I could see that. But like, I don't know. It's like
there's something about this like public shaming that I just like doesn't sit well with me. I'm like, go address it with your neighbor. And
you know why? Because it's tacky. It's tacky.
It's a great word.
It's tacky. It's attention seeking. To me, it's conflict avoidant.
Totally.
So it's like
you're
not even brave enough to have a conversation with somebody. You put it on social media. I'm like, get a grip.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you're listening and you do this, I think we got to dig a little deeper into like, what's actually happening here?
I mean,
because we've got a lot of power. We can have direct conversations with our mouth. We can ask for help. There's rules and laws and all these things where we can get that. But to like publicly complain, well, this is going to go into our gratitude.
No,
anyways,
yeah. And
the contagion.
Yes. And to kind of put a period to that sentence is like exactly the conflict avoidance I was referring to earlier, but on another level where social media has been made that horrible, where if you can't say it to someone's face, don't put it on social media. Like that is something that is just rampant. Everyone has the freedom to just, put whatever negative comment they want out there instead of thinking, would I say this to this person's face? Anyway, so maybe that's another topic. Another topic for another day.
Feelings about it. Yeah. Okay. My laugh and my cry. I had so many laughs and cries. I was on a bender. I had a wild night in Pensacola.
You had a really fun week.
Yeah, I've had a really wild week. I flew into Chicago and surprised one of my lifelong girlfriends. I had so many laughs and so many cries. In fact, I laughed so hard that I believe the Botox I recently got fell out of my face. And I also believe that I might have better abs. Not that I've ever had abs, but I think abs are building from the cackling. Abs. The laughing so hard that you're like dying. So I'm going to throw a laugh cry together. This is just a random one. But I would say my heart is very, very, very full and my brain is very grateful. So I basically fly into Chicago. I'm hiding in the back of the Uber. My girlfriend who I went with puts a backpack on top of me and she calls my other friend whose house we show up at and is like, I need help with my bag because she had broke her wrist. So she's like holding her wrist. She's like, I need help. So this is how the trip starts. I pop out of the Uber back seat. My girlfriend runs because she's like, what the fuck?
She's so terrified.
Terrified. And we go right from putting our bags in the house to a bar. And I had not had food all day. It's like 5:00 by then because I had been so wild the night before. I just slept on the plane on both of my flights. So we go to this bar and I'm trying to get good at sports. So my cry interweaved in this is basically Miles, my son, and Steve, my late husband, their thing was to watch sports together and New York sports. So we are Knicks fans, Mets, and Giants. I've never even sat through watching a sport on TV, like a whole thing, in my whole life. I watched my first football game when Miles played football for the high school team. I watch little snippets, but I'm not like a sitter, and we know I'm bad at TV already. It's not my thing. So I'm trying to learn sports. So part of me learning sports is, I guess, it's not like a bandwagon that I do. It's basically like if you love a team and I'm with you and sports are something that you love. Like I was in Georgia, so I wore Georgia Bulldogs jersey and watched the game. Now my girlfriends are going for the Dodgers, so I'm wearing like LA beanie. If I love you, I join your team for your time until I get back home, and then I'm all New York with Miles, unless New York is playing. So I don't know shit about sports. I'm like cheering for the game, trying to learn, blah, blah, blah. And there's this man behind us, and he's like keeping track of the score for us, but he's only telling us when the Dodgers score a point, because he's like, you're so happy and you guys are laughing so much. Like I don't want to take away from how happy you are. Now, meanwhile, we're right in front of the TV, but we're so enamored with each other that we're just crying, laughing, dying, not paying attention to their favorite team, the Dodgers. Okay. So her husband comes and he's sitting up at the bar, and this is Chicago, the Chicago accents, the 6 accent. The owner comes over. He brings me this dessert, we're all close talking, we're all drinking, we're all having fun. And he goes, hey, have you met my friend? And I go, oh yeah, the guy, yeah, I met him. He's keeping score. And then he says, yeah, he coaches for the Knicks. And I'm hammered. I hadn't eaten. It's nothing. And I barely started eating food, but by then it was like too late. I'm like, pause for a minute. And I'm like, wait, what? Like the Knicks, like my son's favorite team, like New York? He's like, yes. And then my friend's husband starts telling the story of the last time he saw my husband and how him and Miles were like having this moment. They were sitting right next to each other on the couch. They're dressed in their full uniform of the sports. And he said, I remember looking and seeing how special it was, and seeing like knowing that time was limited, and like that was their thing. And so he's talking to the coach about it, and I'm saying, yeah, that's why I'm trying to get good at sports, because I don't know anything. And this was really important to my son and my late husband. And he was like, come to a game. And he's like, anytime you want. So he pulls up his calendar and he shows me all the dates of the game. And then I'm like, well, wait, I want to say something cool to Miles. Like, what would be cool? Like, because I'm not cool at sports. And then I was like, wait, do you want to just FaceTime? He's like, sure. So we FaceTime Miles, and Miles is so happy. His little face is like right up. I took a screenshot of it, and I'm like, look who I'm with. And Miles is so fucking happy. He's so stoked. And I'm just like, it was one of those moments where I'm like, Steve's hand. I mean, I was in Chicago for 48 hours. Okay. What are the chances? It's so weird. It's so interesting. I'd been looking up Knicks tickets for Christmas because I wanted to. Miles, we're like an experience. Well, Charlie's things, but Annex, she's all the things, but Miles is really like experiences. And I was like, I'm going to get him Knicks tickets. And so what are the chances of this? And then this coach was so cool. He got my girlfriend the tickets for that Friday for the Bulls and the Knicks, which was like, yeah, she was like rate, like floor, like for whatever. Yeah. So now the kids and I are going, yeah, we're going to go 2 games, I think, in January. We're going to go to New York, and it'll be a big deal. I have not been back to New York since Steve passed, and I spent a lot of time in New York the first year and a half with cancer. And I feel like that's what makes me like cry throughout this thread, is like there's so much beautiful healing and how this process of grief has gone. It's like Steve is just like a thread that is intertwined in the most beautiful adventures and so many people's memories. As a mother, seeing your kids get really excited and lit up, and especially something that's very much tied to grief, it's like every emotion comes up for me. So really, really, really beautiful, really exciting. And yeah, I think
amazing.
I know, isn't it weird?
Yes. It's
What
magic.
a great story. What a great experience. A great week.
Yeah, it's been a great week. And then, of course, all the great loves of my life have just been woven through all these women, which is just like incredible. But since it's not the Chelsea Club, let's
the Chelsea Club.
Let's pivot into our gratitude, and we're going to talk about tips and tricks today to build gratitude. And to kick us off, I want to start with the fact that gratitude actually rewires your brain. I want you to know that your brain can be rewired. So we have an animal brain. Our brain is wired to survive. It's wired for danger. It's wired for negativity bias. It's why when I jumped out of the car to surprise my friend, she fucking ran. Because we're meant to survive. So I want you to know that if you're somebody who is a glass half empty, if you're somebody who's a complainer, if you're somebody who everything's always happening to me, you can rewire that. You can rewire that through gratitude.
Gratitude. It's like resistance training for your mood circuitry.
I love that.
Mood circuits. So like new pathways can be built. And so I think, at least speaking for myself, sometimes I get stuck on is this really going to work? Yes, it does. It works. You have to trust it. You have to really put that into practice.
Yeah, it totally works. You just have to trust the process. I think the biggest thing people start thinking about gratitude, they think of like it needs to be really big, right? Like you just can't be thankful for waking up today or having a cup of coffee or going on a walk outside. Like, these are things you can definitely be thankful for, because think your body or be grateful that my body, I still have the ability to do this movement, which, as we age is really precious, that we can still move with ease.
So to your point, Rebecca, when they do research studies on happiness, the people who are the most grateful are the people who notice all the small things. So it's not small. And I used to say this in therapy, like, listen, we're going to have our 40-minute, 45-minute, 60-minute session, and that's great. But what you do in between is where the magic happens. And 5 minutes, if you work with me, you'll know interventions are rarely longer than you spending 5 minutes max working on something in between sessions, because it's the teensy tiny things that have the biggest bang for your buck. So when we think of gratitude, it's not let me wait until I get this job. Let me wait till I get that $1 million in my account. Let me wait until my life is perfect. Let me wait until I finish grad school. Let me wait. There's no waiting in gratitude. It's happening right now. And if you're not doing it right now, you're missing right now. So a tip is to get present. And that's what you're saying, Rebecca. Like when I drink my coffee, instead of just slamming it because I need the caffeine it doesn't actually wake me up because I think I'm probably ADD, but I sip slowly. And I enjoy it and I make it wonderful. It's a reason why, if you're my friend, you probably know, I don't eat food. I won't eat food just to eat food. I want it to be delicious. If it's not delicious, sometimes if I'm starving and I have to, but for the most part, it's like, I just won't eat it. I want the biggest bang for my buck. Life is hard enough. So give me the good cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Give me the slow bath with some Epsom salt in it. Every morning I get up and I light candles in my home. That is there's nobody here. It's for myself, right? So when you think about gratitude, start going into, if you can, pairing it with something that gives you a good feeling. That's how gratitude sticks, because you're enjoying. If you just say, I'm grateful for this lip gloss and this coffee and my phone, you're going to feel nothing, and that's not going to rewire. You got to feel the feeling, and that means paying attention and mindfulness. Mindfulness is being present in the here and now. Think of your 5 senses and use them.
I was on a walk the other day, and I go on a lot of walks in the morning with my dogs, and throughout the seasons, we get different sunrises, different sunsets. And the sunrise was really pretty the other day, and it's just been so gorgeous. And I sat there and I was like, oh, those are the moments of that mindfulness, of being in the present moment, because the seasons change and sometimes my moods fluctuate depending on what's going on with my hormones. I'll have a tendency to have maybe lower moods in the fall and winter months. But I noticed myself, I was so happy that I noticed this, is, historically I tell you guys, like, I will have the happy and then I'll be like, but you're not going to be happy forever. So like it'll be followed immediately by like a negative, trying to self-sabotage. But recently I felt that negativity coming up and I was like, oh, like an overwhelming feeling of doom. And I just remember the next thought was like, but what if it's actually going to be okay? And I was like, who's that? Who's this? Who is she?
Oh, wow. That's
wow.
Amazing. That's huge, Joy. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I was like, I got to share this with you guys, because I was like, Who is she looking at the bright side? Not letting that sabotage come in. So that's an example where I was like, it's Thank you, wires. You guys are wiring. The wires are wiring. So trust the process.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend who will say that gratitude is our religion. She's very similar to me, and she says it's your religion. And I'll tell you, when you think about gratitude, when I have been most radically grateful has been in the worst times in my life. The worst times in my life. And I'm going to name 3. One, Miles was born, my son, with a brain bleed, and they didn't know if he was going to make it or not. He was immediately taken to a different hospital. I discharged myself from the hospital. The gratitude of radically holding on to hope, of holding on to every minute I got to visit him in the NICU, the gratitude of being able to hold him, the savoring every single second because we didn't know what was going to happen. And what happened was they don't know why that happened. They don't know why he's okay, but he is, which is amazing. But instead of the fear is there, but we know that fear and gratitude, they don't exist together. So we acknowledge the fear, we acknowledge the scary, we cry, we feel those feelings. And then once we do that, we're able to shift into let me be right here in this moment because I don't want to lose this moment. That's how I look at gratitude. Let me be right here and let me squeeze out every second. And then I had this obviously throughout cancer. I had this through infidelity. When I went through that, I remember taking walks and being like, okay, look at the sky. My God, it's gorgeous. Look at the birds. Let me listen to the birds. Like it became this thing of like, if my life is going to explode, I'll be damned if I lose the essence of who I am as a human and go into this victim brain or go into this. And I'm not saying these things don't come up, that we can shift it quite easily by what do I have in front of me right now? And what if this does work out? And I think that comes with age. So what's come for age with me is it's like, I believe everything's happening for the highest, greatest good. And I don't know whether that's true or not. That's a Gabby Bernstein quote or Course in Miracles. I don't know. It's somewhere in that realm, but everything's happening for the highest, greatest good. And it's my job to be grateful for what I have, to squeeze out as much joy as humanly possible of this life, and to lean in and radically feel all of my feelings. And I think that's where we get stuck too, because we don't want to feel the negative feelings, but there's no gratitude and not feeling the other feelings. So even if you're crying, you can be like, oh my God, I'm crying. It sucks. It's so painful. After death, I was like, I don't know how anybody does this. I have no idea how anybody can go through this much pain and like live. But then when you take the first breath, when you're choking on your breath, sobbing, hysterical, pleading, and you take the first breath, it's like, I'm alive. I'm alive and I'm meant to be here right now. And I'm meant to go through this right now. We can start to think of it. You start to shift more quickly. I don't know if that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. I want to pull back on something you're talking about, like these hard moments. And I've had a really terrible moment in my life as well. And the point I want to make is that when you are going through really difficult times in life, it's like time slows down. All of a sudden, it's like the sea parts and you are in the midst of, you're walking on solid ground, but there's ocean waves turbulent around you. But you get so grounded and you're able to see like the sunset or these micro moments with the person that you're caring about. It's so bizarre, like how they just stick out to you. And you're grateful for them. And it brings hope because in these trying times, we always need hope. But the point I'm trying to make is that it is your body's instinct for survival to find these moments. That's how people get through, because we're just trying to survive and our body is already wired to be grateful and find these moments of hope. But when we're in our normal day life, I'm guilty of this as well. I think we all here are, you're just doing your work, doing this. Oh, I'm going to go get something to eat. It's like, it's so busy, we can't get grounded. And I think if we can get grounded, that's when we can start noticing. Like, you have to force yourself to notice these things. You're already wired to do it. It's just harder when life is busy and happening.
So the tip and trick with that, stop checking out and start checking in.
Oh, Chelsea, that is a great
the
summary.
Tip and trick.
Yep.
Yes, stop checking out and shutting down to avoid the pain, to avoid the overwhelm, to avoid everything, and start checking in. And when you check in, then you see what Rebecca's talking about. You start noticing these things you've never even noticed before. I mean, how many times have you, I did this the other day. I was like, has this building always been here? It was like driving. Did I never notice this? Like, wow, that's actually sad that I've driven past this thing and it was this beautiful building. And clearly checked out, Chelsea. Clearly not checked in.
A lot of people can relate to that of checking out. I mean, we live in a society that kind of reinforces checking out. It is a practice, and I really like that. Just instead of checking out, check in. I was also thinking about the coaching program that I'm doing right now that you guys have both done, where they've trained us to, when you're asking about, starting a session, I would apply this to everyone. It was like, what's going well for you? So whenever someone asks you how you're doing, sometimes our brain, like to your point, Chelsea, you've said a million times, like the brain is going to be lazy. It's going to go default to the negative. So when you check in with someone, or even yourself, if you're thinking about the day, it's going to go negative. So instead of you catching yourself in those moments and instead going to a place of, well, what could go well today? What's going well in my life? If someone asks you how you're doing, think about what's going well. So starting to train that pattern as well, whether it be a dialogue within yourself or dialogue with a friend. Start talking about the things that are going well. And that is something that I've been trying to think about a lot too. I'm like, oh, it's so powerful, because if you ask someone how they're doing and you have a relationship where they can like share things, it's probably going to be like the stuff that's been a struggle. And look, there's nothing wrong with having those types of conversations, but catch yourself if that's like your default mode.
Well, and go back to your truth. Somebody who is stressed out at work, you have a job and you're bringing in income. That's amazing. Somebody else would love to have that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going bad is somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
If you can think about that, what's going, like, I thought about this a lot with cancer, is like somebody else is hoping in chemo and radio, which is fucking atrocious. Somebody else who didn't make it wishes that they got to have a little more time on that god awful drug to be able to have more time with their family, right? I think about this when we complain about our bodies. Somebody else is hoping that they just wish that they had an arm or a leg to complain about, right? I think about this with our homes, with our stuff. I mean, we're very privileged individuals, and that's why happiness is not coming from the things. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not, it's coming from our experiences. It's coming from us being, if you want more joy, have joy for what you have right now.
Every time that comes up, I am like reminded I just like sear it in my brain. Because I think so many of us live in this space of wanting more, arrival fallacy. When I have this, I'll be this. And it's just, maybe I'm just speaking for myself. I get really stuck on that. I just get stuck on the arrival fallacy where I'm like, well, and it's like, no, don't get stuck in that trap. You are here right now. Things are good.
Because it's the journey,
it's
right?
The journey.
Fuck the arrival. It's the journey. The journey of how we got there.
Fuck the arrival. I'm going to name that.
Fuck the arrival.
I'm going to name this
you arrive
episode.
And then what? You want to arrive
It's
to
supposed to
something
be,
else.
it's like when you arrive.
There's no
it's
end,
like
guys.
the end. But
there's no
it's
end.
not. Right.
Yeah, so stop lying to yourself. The arrival, you never arrive. You arrive and then you do it. You want to keep arriving. Okay?
Yeah.
So we have to look at the journey. My two most important things in my life are time and love. So if you look at the time you're spending to get to that arrival, you just wasted all of that if you're holding on to the big outcome of what it is that you think is going to make you happy. That's where we miss a lot of this. And I think, it's a scarcity mindset. Because I don't want to judge it as something else. It's scarcity. It's a lack mindset that we are conditioned to have, because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't be consumers, okay? We wouldn't be buying shit. We wouldn't be upgrading our dumb car. We wouldn't be doing all this. Like, we are getting all these messages of lack, because when you don't feel like you have enough or you are enough, you're going to spend more money. Getting your lips inflated.
Yeah, I mean, they want you.
Shit that you need.
They're preying on your insecurities.
They're preying on your insecurities. So it's up to you to decide, does this empower me? Is this where I want to be? And how do I want to get to my destination? Knowing that destination constantly changes doesn't mean don't have goals. And I do not want to, this is very important, listeners, I do not want to disregard that it is not normal or not okay to have the lack. It is. We are getting it pelted at us at all times. But it's our individual responsibility to decide whether we're going to buy into this bullshit or not. That's our responsibility. What are you selling to yourself now? Because you're getting all this stuff sold to you, but what are you doing to yourself? Mm-hmm. And we can't do that till we get the awareness. Mm-hmm. Until you go like, ew, I'm actually done.
Well, it's interesting. I think of two things. Eckhart Tolle, I believe it was A New Earth, where he was talking about there's so many things out there that we want, but you don't have to have everything. You can appreciate nice things. So I will go to stores and I'll be like, that's beautiful, but we don't need it. Or let me rephrase that, because I think it's fine if you want to buy yourself something nice. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't have to have that feeling of lack of like, oh, I really want that and I don't have it. Where he's like, you can just appreciate really nice things. And that has stuck with me. The other thing is Sean Akor, who's a researcher, a happiness researcher, who said that the reason why we have that constant arrival fallacy is because the brain is wired, and Google this because I don't have the facts like right in front of me, but the brain is wired that once you hit an achievement, it automatically wants the next thing. So we're basically screwing ourselves thinking the arrival fallacy is even a thing, because like you were saying, Chelsea, it's like, when are we going to arrive? That's why I think of Gwyneth Paltrow when she won her Oscar. She was like, I thought that was going to bring me happiness. That was like the greatest thing that I could ever achieve. And she fell into a deep, dark depression because she wasn't happy. We can go on for miles about stories like that where they attained this thing and they were completely depressed. You could look at all the famous rock stars, famous people, actresses that are like on substances because they're not happy. And so we look at that glitz and glam, or we look at the things that people have, but even on a smaller scale of just the things in our lives, or if we reach that goal, don't fool yourself to think that will bring happiness, because the brain is actually wired to then go, what's next? What's my next thing? And that goal and that achievement is like left in the dust, so to speak.
I think that goes back to what Chelsea said about checking in. That's how we get to gratitude and we feel better, right? Because the achieving is actually checking out.
Oh, can you say that again? The achieving
that we all do to get to this place of arrival, the big win is actually checking out.
Oh man, I felt that in my soul. Fuck.
And to your point, though, when you're saying seeing these beautiful things, like if I felt like I needed to buy them all, that's checking out. But by enjoying the experience of appreciation, that's checking in.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, Chelsea, let's wrap up with some tips and tricks.
Oh, I know. Rebecca, you took my breath away.
Same.
I visualized a museum. That's what I visualized.
Yes.
When I go to a museum, an art museum, I feel art. And I used to be like, fuck art. It's somebody's shit that they made. Like, isn't that weird? Never cared. I found it like, I think maybe because as a kid, my parents always took me to museums and I just associated it with like a punishment. But as an adult, I love art. And I love it so much that it takes my breath away, and I will cry and I will smile and it moves me. And Rebecca, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of admiring art. You're slow. You're intentional.
Yes.
You don't get to bring anything with you because you can't afford it. I mean, you can get a replica or something, right?
Don't go to the Louvre.
Yeah. And you are looking at the colors. You're looking at the textures. If you have the audio to listen to learn, you're learning about it. You're immersed in this experience, and then you leave, and you don't feel lost when you leave. You feel inspired. You feel excited. Like, I know for me, I'm always like, ooh, what can I decorate and make my house like add this like piece of culture to it? You know, I find it, I think about it. I think about when I was in France, the art that I saw, the chapels that I went to. And every time I think about it, I relive it. And so that's the first tip that I'm going to teach is if you want to feel more grateful, you can even start by looking at photos on your phone. I do this all the time. I look at photos of my late husband. I listen to his voice. I look at the big life we had together. There is grief in it, but my God, my heart, sometimes when I can't sleep, I listen on repeat over and over and over again. And that's how I put myself back to sleep. There's grief in it. And my God, there's gratitude. There's so much fucking gratitude. We had such a beautiful fucked up journey together, but we got to do it together. Go on your phone, look at your pictures of your friends, enjoy your memories, then share. Okay. That's another tip. You don't need to keep it all to yourself. My things that bring me joy when people call me and they're like, oh my God, I just had the funniest memory of us. We were at this concert and we did this thing. And I'm like, we're reliving the gratitude together. So if you don't have anything right now you can feel, go back a little bit and connect. For present gratitude, my favorite, I've shared it before, I'm going to share it again, is to start paying attention throughout the day and before you go to bed at night. I want you to think about all the things that brought you joy, any little thing. Now, this killed me during cancer. Steve was in the last 9 weeks of his life, and it was so brutal. Couldn't walk, couldn't write, like disaster, couldn't eat. And I remember one time looking at him because this was a tradition we had. And I was like, babe, what was the best part of your day? Because we did that. We always did that. We do it with our kids. This has been like something we've done for years. And I remember him looking at me and being like, it was a really, really hard day. It's been a really hard day. He's like, and right now is the best part, is right here, just right here with you. And when I think about the simplicity of that, sometimes our best part is just that we made it, okay? Like we made it through another shitstorm. If you can't find anything, sometimes your gratitude is just right here, that I even get to have a moment to reflect on my day. So that's my other tip and trick. And my last tip and trick would be start your day off with how do you want to feel? And yesterday I did this. I was really unmotivated. I've been unmotivated. And I was like, how do I want to feel? I want to feel productive today. So I looked up a course that I want to take. I started giving myself credit for every little thing because in grief, you're blurry and foggy. So I was like, I did the dishes. Good job, Chelsea. I folded a towel. Good job. You made your bed. You're fucking amazing and crushing it in life. You got your dog a haircut. Wow, that was very responsible.
I mean, that's all a lot in one day. Yeah.
Okay. Well, all
That
day
is.
long, every time I did something, even like a dish, and then I made food for Charlie and I was like, good job. Look at you. Look at you go. Look at you go. So throughout the day, instead of dismissing that, oh, you didn't start the class that you bought. You didn't do this thing yet that you wanted to do. No, I was like, I'm going to give myself credit for all of these little things that are going to add up. And when I went to bed last night, my heart was so full. It was so full because I didn't go into scarcity. I went into abundance. I want to feel productive. So let's start giving myself some credit of what I did do. And it doesn't have to be, these weren't major accomplishments, but God, it felt really good to be like, good job. Mm-hmm. Okay, so those are my 3 tips and tricks.
Those are great tips and tricks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to share one quick tip before we leave for today. I love music. And this is really easy to do, is make a gratitude playlist. And I do this sometimes, and it changes from time to time. But then, like, you're playing it when you're working out, or you're in the car, or just for a walk, or even when you're working. And it's like, I don't know, it's like your gratitude playlist that you designed and you were intentional about. And now it's just playing in the background. I think it just leads to you feeling better.
It does, because music evokes emotion.
Yeah.
It also connects with memory. And dun, 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 you are being present.
Yeah.
You're being present because
Yes.
you're listening to the music. It's not background
Yeah.
noise. It's intentional. So again, checking in. Let's check in and stop checking out. When you notice you're checking out, be like, let me check in and enjoy scrolling on social media and really watch these reels, right? Like, just flip the switch to stop doing it to avoid your emotions, because that's why we're checking out. We're avoiding this discomfort, these feelings. If you check in, you get to feel all the feelings, and then guess what happens? You have emotional mastery, and then you're fucking superhuman.
Emotional mastery.
Yeah.
Wow.
Emotional mastery. You're not making decisions out of avoiding your feelings. That's a whole other episode. But next week, guys, what are we going to talk about?
Well, really quick, just to add on to what you said, because I know we've kind of gone over today, but I was like, wow, that's such a good point about the checking out, because I've been trying to be better about not listening to podcasts and multitask, because it's a way for me to kind of like check out and I don't know, it's not great for me, for my mental health. That's kind of like this way to feel like I'm being extra productive. I'm like, no, you're not. You're just kind of checking out. So be honest with yourself. That's one thing that's individual, is be completely honest with yourself. So what I've been doing is listening to binaural beats, which put me into this like kind of meditative state when I'm just like sitting, because sometimes I do need like noise, but music's a little too distracting. And they have this new, I use this app called Endel, Endel. I might have mentioned it before. It's one of my favorites, but they have this new soundscape that's uplift. And the intention is they understand that people like me suffer from seasonal affective issues. And so they created this soundscape that is scientifically backed to boost your mood and help your brain waves. And so I've been listening to that. So I put my earbuds in and it's really great and it's soothing. I think it's just such a good reminder of the checking in versus checking out and really trying to discern which is which, because that I think is also something that we can't just notice right away or really decode right away. So that's my homework assignment for everybody, is just like pay attention if you're really checking in or checking out and be honest. Okay, so next week we're going to talk about brave conversations that saved us. This is also, wrapped up in gratitude of really times that we were brave and conversations that changed us, shifted, brought us gratitude, changed our lives, made us grow. So we'll be talking about that next week. You can always find us on the socials at Laugh Cry Club. We are doing so many fun videos on TikTok. So please follow us there and share and like and do all of the interactions, because that really helps our show. So you can share us with a friend. Write us an email at laughcryclub@gmail.com if you want to hear a specific topic. And then until next week, we love you so much. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
That's life, baby.